Hey guys, so I had a couple of requests to do a rundown of the new setup, and I think why this should be helpful, I'm hoping, is that I had a Windows 7 machine for a really long time, and it was I had a huge mental wall that was preventing me from going this direction. And a lot of it was like, I invested so much time and effort and energy into using my Windows machine, and I was so stubborn because I'm in IT and I'm like, I refuse to overpay for hardware. You know, like I can get like an i7 Windows machine for like, you know, a third of the price. So a lot of this was like ideology and stuff like that. But what happened to me recently was literally it was breaking down. Like the Apollo was fighting with the sound card, and Pro Tools was running out of memory, and I literally had to shut down Pro Tools while I was using it. You know, it would literally just blow up while I was recording. So, and you guys know I don't exactly record long clips, so the fact that, you know, that was bothering me means it was really bad. So basically I got this thing, I paid a lot of money for it. It was really painful, even though I have a lot of guitars and amps. Buying anything other than that really just gets me. It's like a weird personality disorder. But anyway, so just want to show you very quickly the components because it's really straightforward. And what I want to just share for people who don't have a Mac yet, and a lot of people told me all these great things about Macs, but you know, there's always, you never know what you're going to find amazing about it. So one of the things I found amazing about it was, comparing it to Windows, was installing these programs was unbelievably seamless and fast. Like, so Pro Tools installed like it was like an iPhone app, like unbelievably fast. Like my head was going to blow up because I know on Windows it would have taken at least 45 minutes for that thing to install. So here I am, within 2 hours, Christian and I had this whole thing set up. I mean, we downloaded mega software. We got the Pro Tools downloaded. We had Superior Drummer downloaded. We had the Universal Audio control panel, right? So let me just show you what's going on, right? So I decided, after a lot of great comments and input from the crew, to stick with Pro Tools. And the reason is that I know Pro Tools, you know, so that was going to take away from learning curve. I own Pro Tools already, and I have no problems with Pro Tools. Pro Tools is not my issue. My issue was Windows just breaking down. So everything's great. I have Pro Tools, and I am using the Apollo Duo Twin, whatever. Now, if you buy an Apollo this month, you get a lot of cool plugins and stuff. So let me just show you kind of how that works. Sorry, this is not a pro demo, so I apologize for like the whole screen thing here. But basically, you know, here's where your tracks are for the Apollo, and you can go here and pop open all these amazing plugins. I keep getting that, but I want to show you guys the angle. Oh, that is the angle. All right, that's cool. All right, let me show you. Let me remove this. So you can like choose from all these things. Now you get you know, the promotion gives you, you know, a nice amount of things, but preamp it. So you get the Neve 1073. That's so cool. You can get, actually I gotta remove this. Here, guitar and bass. So the Friedman stuff is really awesome. Like if you haven't played this is so awesome. We were playing it the other night. It's not the same as the amp, but it's really damn close. I mean, you could totally record and do amazing things with this, all on its own. This is like 75 bucks right now on sale on the Universal Audio site. So this is how, you know, so basically, you know, you have the Apollo and you have two connections for either XLR or quarter inch. And then you have like I guess these were called like Z interfaces or high impedance interfaces or something. So you can do like, you know, you can put your guitar in here and you can, you know, track the bass, or you can use the guitar simulators, and it's got a headphone thing. It's really cool. It's also got a line out if you want to feed it into like a camera, if you're doing something like, if you want to feed it into a Zoom or some other device. All right, so then I have, if I go back into Pro Tools, Superior Drummer. So I got the Bob Rock Foundry thing, which is awesome. Now, I will warn you that Superior Drummer is enormous. It's enormous. It must be 100 gigs. I don't know. It's ridiculous. It takes forever to download, and it takes up a lot of disk space. So if you don't have disk space, do not install this thing on your main hard drive, because you run out of space and it'll just be awful. So that is that. Let me show you. So let's talk about recording guitars. All right, so let's talk about recording guitars, because there's a million ways to do it. So obviously you guys saw that you can use a plugin, and these plugins sound really good. I'd be lying if I said they didn't sound good. They sound really good. You could record an entire album, you'd be fine. And then there's other devices, right? So you guys know, I've been using the reactive load for a long time. I don't really use this reactive load anymore. And the problem is that I started to miss miking real cabinets. And the reason I started to miss it is that there's this how do I say it? There's a give and take there, where when you're playing through a real cabinet, there's definitely this bounce to it and this sense of air, and I don't know, it's hard to replicate, obviously. I mean, I'm not saying anything that's not obvious. And I just listened back to some of my old clips, like the Helios clips, which were V30 mic'd in the room. I didn't even put it in an ISO cab. I used to just blast it, and I was awful and painful, but I did it. And that's why those clips were so quick, because I was literally blasting my ears out. So I decided, like, I want to do that again. So how do I do that, right? So let's go over here for a second. So what I do now is really kind of cool. I've done a couple of videos about it, but it's a great approach if you have a big amp collection. So what I do is, whatever amp I'm using at the time, I put it here in my little amp recording bay area, and I feed it into the Fry It power station. Now, why do I do that? Because every time you swap an amp out, you got to pull the effects loop cables out. It's really a pain in the ass. It's really annoying. You got to unplug all this crazy shit, right? So what I do is I have my effects loop always plugged into my pedal board, always plugged into this. So the only thing I have to change when I swap an amp out is the amp and the amp out and the power. That's it. And then I'm good to go. I have my effects, nothing changed. I'm good to go. Now, there's an extra added bonus to using the power station. The one thing is that not all of my amps have good master volumes. So I can control the master from here, and I can crank my amps. So if I have using the SL68, or I'm using the Phil X amp, amps that really benefit from being loud, it works great. So once again, it's like a one-size-fits-all approach to doing it. Now, what I do is I have a cable. I'll show you what's going on here. I have a 100-foot speaker cable that I basically run across the room. It's always important to have lots of toys, guys. Lots of transformers and stuff. There's the more transformers. Oh, and there's huge aircraft carrier. Okay. So anyway, so what I do is I have an ISO cab, and I don't know if you can really see. It's really dark. Sorry. And the foam is falling out. But I have a Friedman cab in there, and I have a SM57, and that's going through. It's going through the ceiling. And I lock this thing, shackle it closed. God, that's really hard to do when you're filming and you have a GN banner. And it works great. It works great. So you can see how far, let's see how far that is. Right, so that's where I'm playing. And I have that all the way over here. And I'll take you kind of back, see how far it's going. So it's probably like 25, 30 feet. 25 feet? I don't know. It works great. All right, I just want to close the video. That last segment just shut off because my phone died. But anyway, I just want to close the video just with one other thing that I want to mention, which is that Universal Audio is making their own load box, which has a combination. Well, first of all, it has what they call the best-in-class reactive load, which is pretty cool. But it also has speaker emulation built into it, and you control it with an iPad, and it looks unbelievable. And it's just like the Fry power station. It could power, a real cabinet, and it has built-in effects. To me, it seems like the culmination of everything that these other devices are, on their own, right? And it's not out yet. It's going to be out soon. And there's videos of it online. It looks amazing. And based on Universal Audio's plugins and all what they've been able to do, I have a high confidence that's going to be awesome. So why am I getting it if I have the load box and if I have the ISO box and everything like that? Right now I have, one V30 and an MC57, right? I mean, you get fatigue after a while, and plus not every amp goes well with that combination. So it's still really fun to be able to kind of just like swap out, different mics and cabinets, and I really have high confidence that it'll be a cool product. So I'm gonna get it anyway, just because I'm curious. And that's basically the setup that I have. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. As I said, I'm not an expert with the Mac yet, and I'm still learning a lot of different things about it. And I want to really dig into this Universal Audio stuff because it's amazing. I mean, the stuff that's available now is ridiculous. So I'm going to definitely play with that stuff. All right, I hope you enjoyed the video. See ya.